In just their second appearance at the Stankovic Cups, the Tall Blacks will face Russia in the gold medal match just a few minutes away with $30,000 worth of prize money up for grabs. That is $30,000 US. Welcome back to our coverage this morning. Dan Hennessy right beside me, and also Tall Blacks assistant coach Dylan Boucher. Dan, if I can start with you, an inspirational performance from the Tall Blacks last night against Angola, 73-70 the final score.
Well, they've never been in a Stankovic Cup before finals, and this is their first time doing it, and they are just playing fantastic basketball, inspired basketball by B.J. Anthony, Thomas Abercrombie. It seems that next crop of Tall Blacks are really starting to perform on a world stage.
Dylan, in terms of the intangibles, something that you know very, very well when it comes to basketball, Mika Vakona was exceptional yesterday. Yeah, Mick has been doing it all. He's been leading from the front, and we talked about this, this Piero Cameron missing in this team. They've needed someone to step up. Mika Vakona has filled that void, and he's led by the front, and he's not just done the things on the stat sheet, he's done those little things that we talked about, the intangibles, so he's done a fantastic job for the Tall Blacks. Dylan, also, if we touch on some outstanding performances, Thomas Abercrombie, great at both ends of the court, but he had some big D in that third and fourth quarter yesterday. Yeah, he did. Abercrombie was huge throughout that game, and not only got it done on the defence end, finish it off with dunks down the other end and executed well as well. So that was good to see Tom getting in the fray of the things. Dan, B.J. Anthony, you've been pretty happy with him?
19 points. He had a season-defining game the other night, and you just got to think that between him, Abercrombie, Alex Pledger, Leon Henry, again, this second crop of basketball players are really exciting me. And that's not even bringing into the fact that Mika Vakona and Kirk Penny playing very well as well.
I heard you guys mention, you were discussing about how the guys would prepare for this particular match. Dylan, would there be, when you're playing this many games in succession, would there be much training at all, or would it be more about the recovery side of it? I think it's definitely more about the recovery, Dennis. You know, it's about, first thing it's recovery, then it's preparing for who they're about to play. They'll be doing some video scouting. You know, Chris Tupou and Piero Cameron will be doing a lot on video. We're showing the players that. So they'll do a lot of stuff on video to find out what they did wrong, where they can get better, and that's exactly what they'll be doing, watching that video and making those changes that they need to get this win in this final. Dan, what sort of performance do you think we'll see from the Tall Blacks this evening?
Well, again, they've been playing fantastically, and what they've got to do is, I believe, they got to get Fitchett and Lindsay Tate to penetrate, put the ball on the floor, and then you can either hit Alex Pledger for one of his mid-range jumpers, or, of course, you got Leon Henry on the baseline, or Kirk Penny floating around on the outside perimeter. That way, you can also get the bigs, Kasharov, potentially in foul trouble.
Dylan, they just stepped off a flight, and the thing I've really liked about the Tall Blacks in this particular tournament, they've been composed under pressure, and they've executed very well, and their decision-making's been very good. Yeah, they're a very good team, and what they've done is they have a bit of a no-excuse policy. Although they did step off a plane, they didn't use that as an excuse. They went about their business, and it's all about, again, you talk about recovery, you talk about being polished, and it's all about building to this Aussie series. They want to become a good basketball team throughout this Chinese series and also this European tour. So when we come to face Australia, they're going to be primed and ready. If we do have a look at the Tall Blacks team list, no Mark Dickel in there. He looked like he was in casual clothes again during the third and fourth game. So Lindsay Tate, one of the point guards, and also Mike Fitchett. In terms of players to step up, we know, well, hopefully Kirk Penny will have another big performance. Tom Abercrombie, Mika Vakona, Dylan, I think it's a case of everyone having to share the load, and I'd love to see another game where they get 25 assists like they did against China. Yeah, that's right. Assists, it shows that they're sharing the ball around, shows they're executing well. And the same thing, every game we've seen just about everyone get on the score sheet in every game. So it's a balanced scoring, and that's exactly what you want for a complete team performance. Dylan, if I can take you back 3 days to Saturday, I know you love doing a bit of scouting in your assistant coach role for the Tall Blacks. What do you think the Tall Blacks have addressed in terms of the Russian side? I think the big thing for them is they have to address the pick and roll. You know, they did a good job, the Russian team, of getting into the keyhole, shooting those little pull-up jump shots and having their big guys either rolling to the hoop or stretching them out into the corners. And they hit some threes in the corners and they hit pull-up jump shots. They need to take care of the on-ball defence, and then good things will happen for the Tall Blacks. They did seem to, on Saturday night, they did seem to pick that transition D, or the D in general, overall against the Russians quite well. They picked it up very well for that second half. Yeah, they did. You know, I think they had a better second half than they did first half. So, again, if they can start on the right foot in this half and slow this Russian team down, which likes to start fast, then that'll go a long way to winning this final. There was a little bit of showboating, a little bit of Hollywood acting from some of the Russians. You know, they do, when you give them a little shove or a tap or something, there's a bit of extra there there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's European basketball. That's what they do. I guess it's that football background, you know, that they're used to, and they like having a flop now and then. But again, that's unfortunately part of the basketball game as well, you know, and it's all about selling the referee when somebody's been fouled.
Dan, look, well, you and I have had a little read in the press, and there was a slight bit of criticism that New Zealand was playing a Russian university side. They're in China for the university games, but I think it's really, really important for people to know at home that these guys are professionals that might be doing 1 or 2 papers at uni, and there's guys from Dynamo and Spartak and CSK as well. Oh,
there's got CSK, Russia's awesome team for Eurobasket. They're fantastic, and I can guarantee we're going to see Kasparov in the NBA before too long. This team is packed with talent. Don't underestimate Russia and the people that they have brought to this tournament.
Yes, so very, very important to know that this is a top-string Russian side. And having a look at the team list, Anatoly Kasparov, Dylan, what a man. He is an exceptional player. Soft touch for a big guy.
Yeah, he's got a great touch for a big guy. He's a man-mountain. You know, there's not many people that make Alex Pledger look small on a basketball court, but he's one who can look down on Alex Pledger. And like you say, he's got a nice soft touch around the hoop and can shoot from the perimeter. So again, they have to do a great job on him, make sure he doesn't get anything easy, make everything tough. Contested jump shots is what we need from him.
Kastarov's wearing singlet number 7 and in singlet number 11, a man that you were calling a lot of the time on Saturday night, Igor Smidgen, Dan.
Yeah, just another one of those Russian sharpshooters that can really extend your defense, and, you know, he can make you pay from outside if you don't guard him and get up on him.
Yes, look, when you look at, Dylan, you touched on the Russian side, they like to get out quick. You also mentioned the other night, in terms of the Tall Blacks, you have to slow that down as soon as you can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What the Tall Blacks need to do is they need to focus in early, stop those on-ball screens, stop anything easy, basically, and then make everything tough for them. And then as soon as you make things tough, that flows on to a great offensive end. And the Tall Blacks have done a great job all tournament executing their plays and knocking their shots down. Let's just hope they can come out tonight, execute their plays well, and get those 3-point shots to go down.
The Russians have won 3 in a row. In terms of confidence, Dan, do you think they'll be going into this one, you know, confident as, thinking they could take the Tall Blacks?
I think they'll be confident in their abilities, but I think, again, they've underestimated New Zealand in that first game, only winning by 3 points. That really kind of brought them to realize that, hey, Tall Blacks are a worldwide team. They're gonna come to play every game, and I hope that Kirk Penny has 17 points, which is a little less labored tonight. He did throw a few 3 points up last game, which didn't go in. Let's hope that Kirk Penny starts hot here tonight.
Dylan, the New Zealand university side is in the same pool as Russia at the university games. If they're that good against our national team, some of our uni boys, they might be a little bit concerned. I might be speaking out of turn, but I know I would be.
No, definitely not. I mean, this team it's actually their first game of the tournament, and they've been watching these games, so they know exactly what they're about to face, and they're going to face a very formidable Russian team. So it's going to be a very, very tough battle for the New Zealand university team.
There he is. He looks very small on the telly, but I assure you he is a very big man. Kasparov, a big name in terms of Russian basketball, and a young man with lots and lots of prospects. There are our referees for this evening's encounter. Look, we lost by 3 points. We had 2 bites of the cherry in terms of trying to win that game, or level it up for overtime, I should say. So the Tall Blacks have got a very good chance of winning this, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. This, like you say, this is a very polished Russian team, and you know, if the Tall Blacks come out with a lacklustre performance, they'll be punished by this Russian team. Their players can shoot from all over the floor, and if the Tall Blacks don't respect that, then they're going to get hurt. But at the same time, if the Tall Blacks can execute like we saw them do against China and against Angola, then there's no reason why they can't take this game by the horns.
Dylan, you touched on the pick and roll. You know, when you're doing up and you're trying to support your play and you're doing the hedge and return, how do you know when to do what? You know, particularly when you're trying to double team someone, you see someone's got the open look, trying to run, you know, when you've had 3 or 4 other games across the court or to that open man, it must be so tiring.
Yeah, it's such a fine line, and it's something we work hard on at trainings is making sure that, you know, those pick and roll situations we talk about, and we talk about how we're going to guard them. And I'm sure Coach Vucinic and Chris Tupu and Piero Cameron would have done a lot of scouting on this team and talked about how they're going to guard it, and for them to be able to go and execute what they've talked about, it's going to be up to the players.
Evgeny Pushkin looking very, very calm and relaxed. Some last-minute notes there, Dan.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been here before, and, you know, Russia finds themselves in a lot of, you know, top-flight games. This is just another one. Again, I think Dylan hit the nail right on the head. They have got to hit their marks, cross their T's and dot their I's tonight. Otherwise, Russia will really make the Tall Blacks pay.
Yes, $30,000 US up for grabs for the winner of this. And, of course, the honour of being named Stankovic Cup champions for 2011. Will it be the Tall Blacks or will it be Russia? I leave you in the good hands of Lieutenant Dan Hennessy and Tall Blacks assistant coach Dylan Boucher.
And there is the haka, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the Chinese crew has really warmed to the haka, performed by the Tall Blacks.
Yeah, the Chinese really respond well to the haka. They love seeing it, and it's quite often they are asked to do it off court, which is never performed. But you know, on court they're all about business. When they start that haka, it's all about business, and that's exactly what they're planning on doing, coming out in this final and jumping on these Russians as quick as they can.
Well, once again, we've got the Russians there. We have got to put some sort of a kibosh on Savelyev, because he is a three-point sniper, as is Simjin. In any event, both these teams, you'd have to think, would be pretty happy with their talent and how they've been playing, especially the Tall Blacks fighting themselves here. 2011 Boris Stankovic Cup finals for the first time ever. So they have been playing really well. A couple of the down screens, I'd have to say, as far as the Tall Blacks in the first game, ball security might have escaped them a little bit. Kirk Penny, 17 points last night, perhaps a little labored. I'd like to see him just fire right off the bat here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Kirk was probably, his radar was off a little bit last night, but you know, he's going to be focused for this final, so he's going to be wanting to come out, get some early shots. But I can tell you what, this Russian team would have scouted heavily this Tall Black team, and their main focus will be Kirk Penny and slowing him down.
And you would have to think that Mika Vakona, once again, as always, will be wreaking havoc on the Russians, on the boards, as we are ready here for the championship game. We're $36,000 New Zealand, 30 US. And Kasharov will knock it off to his backcourt here, and they will have first use of the ball, will the Russians. On the outside it goes. And foul called to Simjin right away.
No, caught a carried ball. Great job, wow. Mika Vakona, great defense.
You don't see that called a lot, do you?
No, great job by Mika getting up, putting pressure on them, forcing a turnover in the first part of this game. Going straight into Vakona early.
Out to Pleasure, mid-range jumper from him, that will go.
That's the perfect start for the Tall Blacks. Getting the ball through Mika Vakona's hands, getting it to Alex Pleasure for the mid-range jump shot, and making Kasharov have to come out and guard him.
Physical brand of play the Tall Blacks must play. Kasharov will set one down, and that was easy peasy for him, the big man with two.
What a pass. Wrapped around the defender, knew his big man was rolling to the hoop, cashes in with the dunk.
Another whistle here early.
Trying to manhandle Kirk Penny, trying to grab him, trying to hold him. Kirk's very crafty, knows how to get the guy off him. Wants to get open. Number 5's going to have his hands full. Golovin. He's got the job on Penny for this game.
Penny has it at the moment, 14 on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. Lindsay Tate now on the roll, top of the key.
Wants to clear out, he's got a mismatch with the big man on him. Vakona has a mismatch inside also.
Vakona with it. And just kind of a hospital pass there to Abercrombie at his feet. Good thought, just couldn't execute.
Yeah, the actual process was okay. The pass just wasn't completed, and Abercrombie struggled to pick it up. Forced the turnover for Abercrombie with the 24-second violation.
Extended defense here by the Tall Blacks on the Russians.
Great job, Alex Pledger.
Absolutely, and he scraps down the rebound as well. Penny has yet to shoot in this game. Pledger, another mid-range jumper. That one is off the mark, but that's what they want him to keep doing. As once again, we've seen all season long in the domestic league, he's got that mid-range jumper down pat. Zaystef is hassled. Three-point attempt, no good. Pledger with another rebound. Here comes Lindsey Tate. He's on the run, 2-on-3. He'll slow things up. Bacona from the charity stripe. Well short.
Yeah, a little bit out of sync, both teams. Tall Blacks won't be happy. They just gave up a wide open three. Open again, thinks twice about it.
Beats it inside. Nice little 10-footer there.
Yeah, Gubinoff with a nice jumper there. Missed his first wide open three. Turned down the second one, but was able to hit the mid-range jump shot.
Penny running the point now. Finds a rolling Lindsey Tate. And a travel's called on Lindsey.
He thinks it's a bit of a joke. It's 2 turnovers in the early going for the Tall Blacks.
Worrying signs potentially here for the Tall Blacks early as Kasharov is boxed out by Pledger. Good defense by him. Kasharov not cashing in on that possession.
Great screen, Alex Pledger. Great move.
Penny for 2.
Excellent job by Alex Pledger, setting the punch screen. Kirk Penny split in the defense, drove in, slicing all the way to the hoop.
And it's good to see Kirk Penny getting on the score sheet here nice and early. Zaystef with a three-point attempt, no good. They will get the rebound, offensive styles, and start things over. Zaystef has the ball at the moment here for Russia.
I think they got the mismatch inside with Bacona. Great
Golovin,
defense.
Kasharov, and they will get the ball back. Will the Tall Blacks? Kasharov now having some problems with his point guards and the communication they're having.
Kasharov thought he had the mismatch on Bacona inside. He spun. Mika Bacona used his strength to hold him on the baseline, forced him into no play at all.
Kasharov, 2.15 meters. He is a unit. Abercrombie stretching like Gumby gets 2 more.
Yeah, great job, Tom Abercrombie. Ripped, had the defender on him, ripped baseline, converted the 2. The awkward move, but finished it off nicely.
Using that wingspan to the best of his advantage, Abercrombie, Golovin, Kasharov, and he will be fouled, and he's going to have to earn them. Good play by Alex Pledger. Kasharov going to the line.
I'll tell you what, these guards, they put the ball on a platter for their big men.
Yes.
And Kasharov obviously cashing in that time, drawing the foul on Pledger.
Might have been on Abercrombie in hindsight.
Yeah, looking at that camera shot, it might have been too. You might be right. This is a big man, and he's a very, very polished basketball player.
Plays for CSK Moscow. So don't think the Russians brought a bunch of school kids over for this tournament. That's not the, that is not the case indeed.
No, definitely not.
Anytime you're playing for $30,000, you want to bring your A game and your A team, I would think, as Lindsey Tate has it on the outskirts. 10 on the shot clock. Pledger, another mid-range jumper, puts it up and will rattle it home, and he's hot early, and that's what we need from Alex Pledger.
Yeah, that's going to hurt the Russians again. Kasharov getting caught, guilty of wanting to protect the basket. Oh, but that's, hopefully that's not Alex Pledger's second foul. Picks up a foul there. They need Alex Pledger in this game.
They certainly do. Once again, both teams really with just one legitimate big man. Alex Pledger being the Tall Blacks, Kasharov being the Russians, as Casey Frank now into the fray here for the Tall Blacks.
Alex Pledger picking up a second foul.
Three-point attempt, back of the iron, could not be converted. There's Mika Bacona hassling always, and will get the ball. Will the Tall Blacks?
The good thing about subbing Casey Frank in, Casey Frank is another great outside shooter, and he will stretch Kasharov to have to play him on the perimeter. But on the defensive end, he's going to have his hands full having to box out the 7'3" player.
Ball goes astray. Russia with it. Another turnover for the Tall Blacks.
Lindsey Tate with the mismatch inside.
Kasharov
Great
gets
job.
it blocked by Casey Frank. And we will have a foul called on the play, but that first block was legitimate by Casey Frank on Kasharov. Have a look.
Wow, a little bit unlucky there. May have just caught a finger. You know, in basketball they do say, you know, the hand is part of the ball. Get a little bit of hand. It's always a foul. But obviously right in front of the referee there, the referee made the call. Kasharov to the line once again.
Good aggressive play, though, by Casey Frank, crashing those defensive boards. Second one goes astray. Frank with the rebound. He'll kick it off to Lindsay, the general. And here come the Tall Blacks, sitting on a 2-point lead here. 5 minutes left in the first. Once again, Tall Blacks never been in the Stankovic Cup finals, and here they are. Lindsay Tate going the other way.
Yeah, good to see Lindsay Tate getting his penetration game going. Instead of going over top of Kasharov, he goes underneath his arm. Nice crafty play by Lindsay Tate. Kasharov earns a trip to the bench.
And that's going to hurt the Russians, that's for sure. Number 10, Nelyubov into the game now for Russia. Zastev flings it around. That's going to be a long two if it goes. That one is well short. Abercrombie hits Leon Henry with it. Leon Henry into the game now. Check that. Lindsay Tate over to Penny. Up for three. Yes, Kirk Penny is hot here early.
As you can see, straight away, as soon as Kirk Penny hits a shot, the coach calls timeout. He says, I've seen enough. Kirk Penny cannot get open looks in this game. The man helped in on Lindsay Tate. Lindsay Tate, great find. Kirk Penny sitting right in front of their bench.
Sting.
Ooh, that is the coach killer.
Stinger by Kirk Penny. And, well, positive signs here early for the Tall Blacks as Kirk Penny's come to play. Alex Pledger's come to play as well, hitting those mid-range jumpers we mentioned earlier. They're sitting on a nice, handy lead here, 13-6 over Russia.
Yeah, again, Lindsay Tate's done a great job penetrating in the seams, finding his shooters, and also getting to the hoop himself. And on the flip side of that, their defense, they've got out, they've showed on the on-ball screens, they've forced them to move it on, and they've made them shoot jump shots, and they've unable to convert on the jump shots early in this game. Always helps when your big man like Alex Pledger started off hitting two jumpers.
Yep.
Okay, that's always a good positive sign for the Tall Blacks to be able to stretch the defense out. When the big man's hitting shots, it always frees up the inside for the likes of Abercrombie to penetrate in there. Lindsay Tate as well.
Put the ball on the floor and look for the shooters. If not, try and get a foul on the big man, Kasharov. That's just what they did at the end there of that last passage of play. And Kasharov went to the bench. And Russia will bring the ball up here on the Tall Blacks. Once again, 13-6. Tall Blacks looking good at the moment.
Lindsay Tate doing a good job putting the pressure on the ball handler.
Savelyev is Hassel. That's a three off the back of the iron here. Penny with the rebound. Lindsay Tate, nice feed into Abercrombie, kicks it, and tough pass, tough feed, that bounce pass. You're right, when you're going at full tilt.
Yeah, that was a tough pass for Tom Abercrombie to reel in. Tom Abercrombie, the best thing you can do is probably put it up by the rim. He'll go up and get it. Lindsay Tate probably just guilty there of trying to thread the needle rather than just pulling it out and running and executing the offense.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the first. Low-scoring affair. It's all about defense here, and there's another hand in by Lindsay. Mika had him, didn't see him. He was all alone, was Lindsay Tate.
It sure was. He was gone. Mika Vakona couldn't quite grasp the ball. Nice pass.
Mika Vakona with two, and Casey Frank with a diamond chip pass.
Great job, Casey Frank. Again, he's bringing that experience. Nice high-low pass to a rolling Mika Vakona.
Russia looking out of sorts, to say the least.
Great rotation, Lindsay Tate.
Golovin will finally hit a three for the Russians.
Yeah, they've had a few open looks. Tall Blacks have been very fortunate. They haven't made them pay. That time, making them pay.
Lindsay Tate is hassled by the Russians. He's looking for help. Finds Casey Frank, back to Mika Vakona. Mika with two more. He's flying through the airs. Mika
making an impact, just like he did in the last game. Coming in, Casey Frank combination with Mika Vakona working the treat right now.
And we haven't even seen B.J. Anthony yet, as he's poised to come into the game with Fitchett here for the Tall Blacks, as he's been playing fantastic ball. We're going to see him real soon.
Great defense by the Tall Blacks.
Zastev with it on the push. No good, and there is Lindsay Tate to scoop up that rebound.
Look for them to go into Mika Vakona here. Yep, on key.
Mika, nice little fake there. Feeds it inside to Frank, couldn't handle the pass, a tough one. And there's Lindsay. Thought he might have stole the ball in any event.
Lindsay Tate, I think, went in for the foul, but then realized he actually was going to receive the ball, so he ended up picking up the ball. But a little bit unlucky to not get away with the steal there.
Marty Jonas goes down for Russia like he was shot from a sniper rifle from afar. Russian coaches on the sideline know they're right in the game here.
Still sticking with that on-ball defense. Good defense by the Tall Blacks.
And that'll be a foul on Casey Frank.
Yeah, we have to be a little bit careful picking up some fouls on the big man here. Trying to split the defense. Looked like he got ball there, but again, the referees have been pretty consistent throughout this tournament with what they're calling. So that's exactly what they called there. They called a little bit of a hand check by Casey Frank. What you don't want, Dan, is you don't want to give them easy points from the free throw line. You want to make contested jump shots. That's what they've done so far in this game. Golovin converting 2 free throws there.
Michael Fitchett now running the point. He's a deep threat at any juncture in any game. B.J. Anthony. Fitchett. B.J. Frank. Oh, nice shot. Almost converted there off the glass, but great ball movement there by the Tall Blacks.
Yeah, again, the big men combining together. It's good to see. Good to see the big men, you know, sharing the ball between each other.
And that'll be an easy 2 there.
Yeah, B.J. Anthony just guilty of leaving his feet there. Gave the shooter too much respect, went out to block the shot.
Nelyubov will get 2, and Fitchett will throw it askew. B.J. could not get that pass, and, well, another turnover here for the Tall Blacks, now just sitting on a 5-point lead.
Yeah, allowing Russia to come back in this game with turnovers and poor execution.
Corey Webster into the game now as well for the Tall Blacks. He is a shooter.
Mike Fitchett with the mismatch inside.
Long 3 coming from the Russians, and that will go down.
All Blacks have seen enough. Matsiunas knocks down the 3. B.J. Anthony went down to help. No one rotated. Matsiunas knocks it down.
And, well, Tall Blacks 17, Russia 16. They've kind of screamed back into this one, has Russia. The Tall Blacks started out like a house on fire, but you have to say in the first quarter here, ball security, a little bit of a problem for the Tall Blacks. Yeah, absolutely. You know, too many turnovers, too many unforced errors, really. You know, they've probably been guilty of just forcing things a little bit in that second part of the quarter. But right now they need to get back to their defense, get the stops, and then that'll lead to points down the other end. Didn't see Kasher off much of that end of that first quarter there. But again, there is Alex Pledger for a 7-footer. He's got a fantastic mid-range game, and we've watched it all season long in the domestic league. And here he is applying his craft on the international stage and doing well, Alex Pledger.
Yeah, I'm sure in that huddle, what they would have talked about, they would have talked about ball security and talked about getting that defensive intensity again, because that's what started them off in this game. That's what got them the early lead. Now Russia have pulled this lead back. They'll be looking to lock them down, make sure they make everything tough rather than giving them open looks like they've had. And
I'm wondering if Golovin is going to be still on Kurt Penny, or if they're going to give somebody else that assignment, because he's not doing all that great in the first quarter.
I think they'll be varying it up. Different players will be having an opportunity to guard Kirk Penny.
And that's a kick ball, fresh 24 coming up for the Tall Blacks.
Just to reset to 14, Dan, the new rule. That reset foul or anything in the front court, it goes to just to 14, not to 24 anymore.
Good rule. Webster, straight away, rims out. Good look, though. And he will not be scared at all to try that again next time down, as he's a pure shooter, is Corey Webster.
Great defense there by the Tall Blacks. Great rotation, Casey Frank. Oh, great move.
Great move. Fantastic stuff by a big guy there.
Smidgen.
Inside and outside. He can sting you from both areas on the offensive start of things. B.J. Anthony for a 3. That's off the mark, but he has hit 2 of those and has only shot 2 of those in this tournament. He's shooting 100% there, now down to 66.6.
Yeah, wide open look from BJ. All Blacks again settling for that outside shot. You have to do a better job of really getting that ball inside. Get BJ Anthony some touches in there, Casey Frank.
And that will be the end of the first, as Russia had a chance there for a 3-pointer by Zaystev, could not convert it. In any event, Russia kind of clawed their way back into this one, and we got ourselves a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. Just 1 point in it. New Zealand 17, Russia 18.
Good thing is, Dan, is they didn't let Russia get away to that early lead.
Yes.
You know, they got away to the early lead themselves. They'll be disappointed with probably the second part of that quarter, and I think what they'll be talking about is, again, getting that ball inside and freeing up those outside jumpers once they've got a few touches inside.
And they should have made Russia pay a little bit more there the second half of that first quarter when he went to the bench.
Yeah, that's right. The bench for Russia did a great job coming in, executing, but not only that, they did a good job defensively, forcing the All Blacks into contested jump shots.
Once again, Zaystev and Salyulev, fantastic guards here for Russia. Golovin, Gubanov, and Kasharov, their main front men. As again, a good rotation of players here for the Tall Blacks. Guys are in and guys are out.
Yeah, that's right. The Tall Blacks are keeping everybody fresh. You know, look for the likes of, you know, Leon Henry to get some opportunity. Isaac Fotu will come into the game, get some opportunities. So it's all about rotating the players, but making sure they don't even lose anything. Once they rotate in players, they have to come in and give that same intensity or pick it up a notch, like we've seen so far with BJ Anthony in this tournament. Every time he's come in, he's picked up the intensity.
And once again, earlier on in this tournament, Russia beating the Tall Blacks by just 3 points. And in that game, Alex Pledger, Thomas Abercrombie kind of tested the waters there with hard fouls. They would have been a hard foul in the New Zealand National Basketball League, but international play, it's a professional foul. And it's good to see with the games after that one, we haven't seen one more professional foul. They're like, okay, that's as far as we can go. That's it.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want your players to learn how the referees are calling it.
Yes.
And make good plays after that.
Mika Vukona off the mark, but he will be fouled right off the bat here.
I just got to say, you know, Mika Vukona has been fantastic throughout this whole tournament. Again, leading from the front. When the ball goes through his hands, good things happen. Again, straight away they come out of the quarter time. They go straight into Mika Vukona. He draws the foul. Will go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Gubanov with that foul. Can't make up these names. Mika Vukona once again just playing like a 7.5-footer every time he's on the court. If we could measure heart, I'm sure he'd have the biggest one out there. Again, imposing his will on this game, Mika Vukona.
Yeah, you can hear his voice out there too, doing a lot of talking.
Yep. Good to see. Russia with it.
Tom Abercrombie with the mismatch inside. On the bigger Gubanov.
8 of the shot clock for Russia here. They've got to make something happen.
Great job, Mike Fitchett. Offensive foul, legal screen.
Matthias with that screen.
Valuable sticking the hip out, catching Fitchett. Fitchett doing his own great job of a little bit of acting there as well. Saying whatever you can do, I can match it.
Fitchett running the point now. Corey Webster.
Great screen, BJ Anthony.
Mika Vukona at the charity stripe, spins, puts it up. Not to be, there's BJ fighting for the rebound, could not get it. Zaystev with the bound, and away come Russia now, sitting on a 1-point lead. Good pass inside, loses the handle.
Good foul, Corey Webster, make them in it. But you just got to love the way these Russians use on-ball screens.
Yep.
Big men set the screen, they roll to the hoop hard. In that case there, Nelyubov, great roll, draws the foul on Corey Webster. Will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Nelyubov at the line. And the Russians this tournament have had a red-hot percentage shooting from the free throw line, so I'm sure the Tall Blacks will be keeping that in mind as this game goes on. They'll hit them both there, Will Nelyubov.
Matsu Yunus pressuring Mike Fitchett up the court. Going straight into BJ Anthony this time. Finds a wide open Corey Webster.
Webster for three, will make them pay. He was wide open, Dylan, wide open. And now the Tall Blacks take a 2-point lead with 8:41 to go here in the second. This is officially a dogfight, ladies and gentlemen. Another pass goes askew for the Russians. And, well, Corey Webster will say thank you very much. He'll bring the ball up for the Tall Blacks. Coast to coast, we had a whistle.
Foul called. Smart play by Zaystev. Just gave up the foul on Corey Webster, making them take the ball from the sideline, and they'll only get 14 seconds to play with, as opposed to getting a fast break layup. Again, this is something you see a lot in the European style of basketball. They give up the foul just so the ball goes to the sideline.
Abercrombie's been silent from the elbow, puts it up, and in! Thomas Abercrombie with two for himself there.
On cue, Dan. Wanting to get Abercrombie involved in this game. Goes for the one dribble pull-up, which he's so good at doing.
Tall Blacks up by 4 here now. Golovin kicks it back out. And he's wide open. Golovin for a three, and, well, he's going to make them pay on that occasion. Doesn't, however. And, well, the Tall Blacks dodge a bullet there.
BJ Anthony getting guilty of helping when he doesn't need to. Corey Webster again getting caught with a mismatch inside. Nelyubov sealing him, doing a great job of sealing. He'll pick up a second foul.
And with that, you would think Kirk Penny would be dusting himself off and getting ready to hop back into this one.
Yeah, Corey just getting caught playing behind.
Still up by 4, but look at this defense by the Tall Blacks.
BJ Anthony now with the mismatch at the top.
Little guard will penetrate, kick it up, no good. BJ will tip it off to Michael Fitchett. And BJ Anthony, with 3 Russians around him, finds Mike Fitchett and tips it off to him. What a play. Fitchett with an errant pass, finds Webster somehow. Webster puts it up. Not to be. And, well, Mika Vacona just going for that ball. Knew he fouled the second. He whacked that Russian in the mug, I think, right there. Mika was like, okay, you got me. I'm already going back to the other side of the court.
Yeah, Gubanov again, getting caught in the mouth from Vacona, but again, selling it like he's been shot. You know, it's the way they do it. Make sure the referee makes a call.
2.07 meters, Gubanov, mind you. A big unit. And pretty much anyone that Mika Vacona's got to guard is bigger than him. Another 3-point wide open shot by the Russians, and that will drop and bring them to within 1 point here of the Tall Blacks. And the Russians, Dylan, are wide open on the outskirts.
Yeah, Dmitry Golovin making them pay, no one rotating. Fitchett getting caught with a mismatch.
BJ Anthony finds Kirk Penny, launches a three. Yes, Kirk Penny off the bench, hitting nothing but net.
Yeah, the coach wants another timeout again. Anytime Kirk Penny hits a three, he calls a timeout. I'm sure he's talked a lot about not letting Kirk Penny get any open looks. And again, he'll be hammering it home in this timeout.
Well, that was Nelyubov's chance to guard Kirk Penny. He failed miserably. New Zealand 27, Russia 23. Who's going to guard Kirk Penny now? It's a rotating shift at the moment. Nobody's been able to do much about it. Kirk Penny injecting his will into this game. But in saying that, maybe worrying signs a little bit with these Russians having wide open looks from 3-point range. They're good shooters. And, well, we just got to get up on them. What do you think?
Yeah, the Tall Blacks have been guilty of not making that last rotation. They're rotating to the first player, but Russia do a great job of moving that ball on, finding that wide open guy on the weak side, and the Tall Blacks are guilty of making one rotation but not making the second. They have to continue rotating, and then hopefully they'll be able to get a good hand up on the shot or force them to put the ball on the floor, which will chew up more shot clock and put more pressure back on them.
Nobody's smiling on that Russian bench. They find themselves in a game here as Kirk Penny starts out hot here tonight. We did mention he gets 17 points last night, maybe a little labored 17 points. In any event, he starts out here red hot, helping the Tall Blacks cause, and that's why they're up here early. 5-point buffer, 6:40 left to go until halftime. Russia with the ball. Another wide open three, perhaps. Mika came out late, but came out in any event. Good defense by Pledger.
Yep, foul on number 15. Gubinov. Pushing Mika Vakona in the back on the box out. Alex Pledger doing a great job defensively in the block there.
Yes.
He's probably one of the premier big men defensively in the world.
Yes.
Does a great job of not many people scoring him in the low block. And he has those long arms and he keeps them up and causes the defense, causes the offense to have to change their shot every time.
Mika Vakona, great reverse. Does a Dylan Boucher out there, ladies and gentlemen. Nice reverse lay-in by Mika Vakona.
Yeah, if only I could get that high on my reverse lap stand, it'd be nice.
Zastev.
Kirk Penny with the mismatch inside. Manages to get back.
7 on the shot clock for the Russians. They'll put up a floater well short. Pledger gets that rebound, and away come the Tall Blacks again. Abercrombie surveys the court. Good play from him to slow things up. Still 13 on the shot clock here. Get a good look.
Oh no, Alex Pledger gets called for an offensive foul. Sets a screen, the man goes under and he uses his arms to push him down a little bit lower. Fairly weak call, but you just can't do that. As you can see, he just catches the player. Again, that's where the acting comes into it, you know, and that's exactly why they do it, because he milks a foul. Alex Pledger gets 3 fouls and will probably earn a trip to the bench because of it. Yep, sure enough, Casey Frank coming back into the game.
Well, yet another twist to this plot, ladies and gentlemen, as our only premier big man now with his backside on the bench.
Great pass.
Gubinov makes us pay once again down low in the block. Kirk Penny with it, finds Frank. Frank back out to Penny from the elbow. He'll launch it and put it in. Kirk Penny says, no one on this court can guard me.
Oh, a little bit of niggle going on under the hoop of Abercrombie. Got the ball fake to the face.
Which is rare because Thomas Abercrombie is as low-key as they come. What a scooping shot from the Russians. Not to be. Another shot, no good. And geez, they want the fouls, and now the Russians are starting to complain to the referees. Lindsey Tate will find Abercrombie, and he'll be called with a travel.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. I don't know what happened there. I think they must have thought he'd landed on the ground, but I thought he'd managed to kick it out to Abercrombie. Nevertheless, Abercrombie missed the shot. Russia ball, another turnover to the Tall Blacks.
Well, he's been called with a travel. He's been called with a carry. A couple of suspect calls on Lindsey Tate, to say the least.
Yeah, look at that, 8 turnovers to New Zealand, 6 to Russia. This both teams far too high.
Would you attribute that to good defenses or just poor execution on the offense, or see a little bit of all of it?
The Tall Blacks has probably been a little bit guilty of forcing passes on the break. We've seen 3 or 4 on the break not come off, so maybe you need to just pull it out and execute a little bit better.
Lindsey Tate at the top. Kirk Penny. Mika Vakona. Casey Frank. Into Mika. Mika just goes by his defense like it was stopped. Back out to Lindsey. And what do we have there? Mika Vakona and Kasharov hit the deck like a couple of UFC fighters.
Mika Vakona's like a cat. He just pounces straight back up. Mika Vakona drawing the triple team there.
Wow.
Talk about Kirk Penny commanding, you know, guys sticking to him like Lou. Mika Vakona's getting the same respect in the low block now.
And again, all of 1.96 meters. Mika Vakona misses the first. And the second one will drop for Mika.
Full court pressure from the Tall Blacks. Trying to make everything tough for Russia right now. Abercrombie gets the assignment.
And we will have another soft foul called here as the whistles are starting to echo through the stadium here in Zhejiang, China. Taking a little bit of the mojo out of the game at the moment.
Matsu Yunus doing a great job getting in there. Abercrombie got up to pressure. Again, these Russians do a great job of selling the foul to the referee. They make sure the referee knows they're being fouled, as opposed to on our side of the world, we tend to try and play through the foul and play strong. But you're right, Dan. Foul's starting to mount up for both teams.
Martinez at the line, misses that, gets his own rebound, however, and gets his pocket picked clean by Kurt Penny.
You had no idea Penny was there behind him.
Pledger with it, they slow things up, and that's just seasoned basketball by the Tall Blacks here with 14 still in the shot clock. Penny with it, goes baseline, shot, didn't look likely, wanted the foul, didn't get it.
See, that's the difference. Kirk Penny just tried to play strong through that foul, didn't sell it. Ended up getting no call because of it. And on the other end, Russia getting the call. Kasharov will go to the line for 2 free throws. Fouled by Casey Frank. Casey Frank will pick up his 2nd foul.
Worrying signs here. Casey Frank with 2, Alex Pledger with 3. Kasharov at the line. Still, they're shutting him down for the most part, only sitting on 4 points as the big man.
He's in those all from the free throw line. Very, very polished free throw shooter. 5 for 5 for the game so far.
Casey Frank just battling for that rebound.
Commentator's curse got it.
Awesome. Lindsay Tate will end up with it. New Zealand sitting on a little bit of a lead here. Look at Vakona, Kurt Penny. Kurt Penny puts up a 3-ball, and it goes down for Kurt Penny.
Kirk Penny needs a split second to get that shot off. Great find by Mika Vakona. Great screen by Casey Frank. Nice finish by Kirk Penny.
Kirk Penny here in the first half, ladies and gentlemen, is on fire. Zastev with it for the Russians, now looking for Kasharov inside. Another 3-point shot by the Russians, looking to answer back, could not do so, and Abercrombie just jumps over everyone for that rebound. Into Frank it goes. Tall Blacks ball.
Try to combine with Mika Vakona there. Casey Frank had the mismatch, drew the double team with Kasharov. Mika Vakona cutting down the lane, just wasn't able to convert the pass to him.
Do not adjust your TV. Your My Sky is not broken. New Zealand 35, Russia 26 with 2:55 left to go to halftime. And Kirk Penny has just showed up as a superstar that he is here right off the get-go. Abercrombie with 2 more. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, an 11-point lead for the New Zealand Tall Blacks.
Tom Abercrombie, that shows his athleticism. Drives in, pulls up over the 7'3" Kasharov. Another turnover, nearly.
Salia puts it up short, gets it back again. And the shooting has just fallen off here for the Russians, fallen off a cliff. And, well, that's more like it, to get a run to the rack and a high percentage shot. Still doesn't go in any event. Tall Blacks playing some darn good defense here, Dylan.
Yeah, forcing the contested shots, but unfortunately they're not tidying up the rebounds. Otherwise they could be pushing this lead out even further. Zastev earns a well-deserved rest. Golovin coming back in, look for him to be using some more on-ball screens.
He's also got that 3-point shot we're fully aware of as well. Launching a long 3, and that will be nothing but net. And what do we have here, Dylan?
I have no idea.
Oh, I just threw you a hospital pass.
You did, yeah. Again, a whistle went after the shot. Maybe they called a foul on the shot. Tough to see on that camera angle. Oh, they've called a foul on the rolling big man. He'll go for 2 free throws. And did they count the 3-point shot?
Kasharov at the line. Surprise, surprise. He'll miss the second one, however.
That's a 4-point play. If they did count that, that's a 4-point play. Huge, huge turn of events.
Lead down to 7 now. Was up to 11 at one point. Mika Vakona with it. Double teamed. Kicks it out. And a Russian will gobble that up. And away come the Russians here. That is up to 10 turnovers in the first half for the Tall Blacks. And 1. Ho, 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 what a play!
Yeah, here come the Russians again. The Tall Blacks guilty of a turnover. Coming back down. Number 13, Martinez.
Yes.
Nice penetration. Draws the foul, sells the foul.
How many steps was that?
About 8. Go to the free throw line for 1 free throw.
And will miss, but Kasharov gets the bound. Abercrombie looking to get it out of there. And Kasharov again going to the line.
Again, Kasharov causing all kinds of trouble in there. 7'3", and he's the biggest man on the court for New Zealand is BJ Anthony at about 6'5", 6'6". You know, we've got a bunch of 6'6", 6'5" guys out there, so it's a very small team, but what they lack in height, they make up for with athleticism and with heart.
Kasharov off the mark on his first trip this time to the charity stripe, but he's been on there all the first half.
Yeah,
like you said, he scored all his points from the charity stripe. That's amazing.
He sure has. He's causing them a whole lot of problems inside at the moment.
BJ Anthony looks to wrangle in that rebound, finally does so, and every rebound is hotly contested here on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, good box out there by BJ Anthony.
2:33 left to go here in the first half. Abercrombie with it, looking for help. Throws it away. Backcourt violation. Turnover 11 for the Tall Blacks.
Yeah, turnovers are really hurting the Tall Blacks. The Tall Blacks have done a great job building a lead in this game, but unfortunately it's dwindling away by turnovers and poor defensive execution down the other end.
Just down to 5 points now. Was as much as 11 at one point in time. Russia with the ball. 24-second shot clock is in effect.
Great move.
Whirling around the paint.
Gubinov, great move on Vukona there. Anytime anyone scores on Vukona in the low block, you know it's a good move because he's doing everything he can to stop you.
And well, look at this. It is ballooned down to 3, so to speak. It was up to 11, but now Russia 34, New Zealand 37. The dogfight continues. We've got a timeout with 2:20 left to go here. Once again, this is the championship game in the Boris Stankovic Cup 2011. The first time the Tall Blacks from New Zealand have ever made it this far in the tournament. And well, so far, so good. Up by 3 here. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, it's Tall Blacks did a great job getting an 11-point lead with some great outside shooting from Corey Webster, Kirk Penny, and some great passing between the big men. But unfortunately, you know, they undid it all by turnovers and poor defensive execution and some great plays by the Russian players.
Kirk Penny, as hot as it gets here early, and that was, again, a very good sign for the Tall Blacks to see him getting points early in this competition.
Yeah, it is. It's great to see Kirk firing on all cylinders. But on the defensive end, Kasharov is starting to cause some problems with his height. Again, Tall Blacks, every time Kasharov touches inside, have had to foul him, and he's gone to the free throw line, and he's turned those free throws into points and put the pressure right back on New Zealand. New Zealand will be looking to take care of the ball this last 2 minutes and hopefully get some good execution, find the likes of Kirk Penny from the outside or Mika Vukona and the likes on the inside.
And a great one-on-one matchup between two premier athletes, Mika Vukona and Gubinov, number 15 for Russia. Keep an eye on them as the Tall Blacks have first use of the ball here in the second quarter with 2:05 left to go until halftime.
Great move by Kirk Penny.
Yep.
Draws a foul on Kasharov.
Nice.
Goes right at him, hits him with the stutter step. We'll go to the free throw line. Yeah, we'll go to the free throw line.
Yep.
Yep, may have got a Charlie in the leg for his troubles. Makes no mistake on the first.
Kirk Penny adding a little drama to the game last night, missing a couple in the dwindling moments. I'm sure he did it for drama purposes only.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure the New Zealand fans had something to be excited about back home.
You better believe it. Up by 5 now. Kirk Penny hits them both in the shadows of halftime under 2 minutes. Fantastic game.
Great
thus
defense.
Far. And look at this. Turnover. Tall Blacks ball.
Smidgen's not happy. Not happy with the turn of events. Mika Vukona had a great show. BJ Anthony put great ball pressure on the big to stop the roll, being open. And again, the ball just flying through the hands.
Abercrombie with it. Lindsay Tate.
Mismatch inside.
BJ.
Great
Inside
pass.
it goes to Mika. Mika will be fouled. And one for Mika Vukona. The circus has come to town. And Mika Vukona is the ringmaster.
Is there anything Mika Vukona can't do? Again, 3 guys on him. Gets the bigger man in the air. Smart play. Draws the foul. And 1.
That foul on Kasharov as well, I believe.
Kasharov's earned a trip to the bench. Then comes Nelyubov. He's not happy. He's not happy at the moment. He wants to hit something.
I think Mika Vukona's got puts that feeling into most people he plays against. Awesome stuff by Mika. Bang! Converts to three-point play. Mika Vukona is a force to be reckoned with. 1:24 left to go. Russia with it, looking to answer back here. The Tall Blacks have been playing some fantastic defense on them. Have really shut down that three-point shot. As Kasharov, no, check that, Gubanov goes for the big set down and gets it. Nelyubov.
Throws it down on Vukona.
Wow.
Great job. Great pass.
Mika Vukona with it. B.J. Anthony, look at the ball movement. Abercrombie for three. Bang! Thomas Abercrombie, a trifecta.
You look at the body language of the Russians. Nice to see Tom Abercrombie knocking that shot down. Great ball movement from the Tall Blacks, starting by Mika Vukona commanding that double team inside.
And Russia here, it seems like the wheels are falling off their little red wagon.
Great defense, Lindsay Tate.
Oh, look at this, another turnover. Tall Blacks ball.
Tall Blacks playing some great high-pressure defense. Lindsay Tate needs to get the ball over.
Ooh, that was close. Now, not much in it, about 3 seconds differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Look for B.J. Anthony to set a screen here. Lindsay Tate to get some penetration.
10 seconds. Lindsay
nice
finds B.J. B.J. puts it up, not to be. The Russians now with 3 seconds left. They're going to put it up. They will do so. Will they answer back? No. That will be the end of the first half. But you got to say, the Russians find themselves right in the thick of a dogfight here and behind schedule a bit against the Tall Blacks from New Zealand. And you'd have to say, other than ball security here, the Tall Blacks are playing a fantastic brand of basketball. 45 for New Zealand, 36 for Russia. Dylan, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously 28 points in that quarter, Dan. Great offensive output. If they take away those turnovers, the Tall Blacks are playing some great basketball. But on the flip side of that, they did a great job forcing the Russians into some early turnovers in that quarter, and that started off the offense for the Tall Blacks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you stick and stay. Don't go away. The boys are in the studio here for the second half. First half breakdown. We'll see you shortly.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Stankovic Cup final between New Zealand and Russia. At the halfway stage, it is 45-36 to the Tall Blacks. Very, very excited I am, Dylan, because of that scoreline and also from the great start that the Tall Blacks have had.
Yeah, great job by the Tall Blacks starting out early. You know, they dominated early on the offensive end. Unfortunately, you know, the latter part of that half, they started to turn the ball over, and unfortunately for them, that let Russia back in the game. But on the flip side of that, then they came back, forced Russia some turnovers, and they stretched that lead out towards half-time.
Dan described it as a dogfight. It has been quite scrappy and physical at times, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's what you expect in finals. You know, you expect it to be scrappy basketball, and you expect the likes of Mika Vukona to come to the fray, and that's exactly what's happened. Mika's got in there, and he's scrapped with the best of them, and he's come out on top most of the times.
Look, I'm very biased, but some of the Russian theatrics, particularly drawing the foul, very frustrating as a Tall Black fan.
Yeah, very frustrating for the players as well, and it's something we're used to when we play in European basketball. That's the style they play, and unfortunately for us, we're not used to it. But at the same time, the only way to combat that is to go ahead and do the same thing yourself. Make sure you sell to the referees that you are being fouled rather than trying to play strong.
Can't the referees see through it? If we can see it, you know, particularly with the odd, you know, one of those, my back.
Yeah, there's actually a rule in the FIBA rulebook that says if a player is deemed to have flopped, they can actually get a technical foul because of it. It's a very, rarely used rule, but at the same time, if it's so obvious that they can call that, and that can be a game-changing moment. Speaking
of hot players, Kirk Penny, Mika Vukona, both great work rate, and their execution has been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk has just been outstanding from the outside, but a lot of it has come from the passes from Mika Vukona. Mika's just been a beast again inside. He's done a great job of commanding double teams inside, which has freed up the likes of Penny, Webster on the outside.
Yes, there is Mika Vukona with one of his exceptional plays. He is just having a fantastic night, but the Russians also executing well.
Yeah, Russia's doing a great job again, using those on-ball screens that we know they do so well, and finding either the rolling big man and drawing fouls or kicking out to the open shooters, and they're making them pay from the outside.
Yeah, Kirk Penny making it look effortless every single time. Nice to see he's got his outside game going on this evening.
Yeah, I mean, he only needs a sniff to be able to get a shot off, and that's exactly what he did in this first half of basketball. Tom Abercrombie made some great plays. You know, that one there pulling up on the baseline, but he also made some slashing cuts to the hoop and some great defensive plays also.
Yes, the one positive for the All Blacks, saw a little bit of frustration from the Russians, and the more frustrated a side gets, the better it is, you know, for the TBs.
Yeah, it's a sure sign when you see, you know, guys arguing with the referee or talking to the referee or looking at their coach with their hands up in the air. That's a sure sign they're getting frustrated, and that's a very positive sign for the All Blacks to see the Russians doing that.
Yeah, Nalyubov with a nice rim rocker there just to finish off those highlights. That was a nice play from the Russians, and just getting to the hoop quite easily at times.
Yeah, that's something that they do very well. Again, they're rolling big men, and again, that time Mika Vakona getting caught, being a little bit late on the help, and ends up getting dunked on because of it.
Dylan, looking at the stats, some great stats for the All Blacks, so I'm very happy, very smiley. 65% field goal, 83% three-point, 85% to Russia's 47 in terms of free throws.
Yeah, you've got every reason to smile when you look at those shooting stats. 65% from the floor, obviously, and only missing 1-3 that whole half. What a great job. But the exciting thing of that is 12 assists as well, on target for a very, very good assist game. But the negative, I guess you could look at there is the 10 turnovers. Both teams guilty of turning the ball over far too much.
I guess that's part of having a scrappy physical game. That's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, defence is always going to play out in finals, and that often causes for things like turnovers to happen. And both teams have been guilty of it, unfortunately. But that's finals basketball. It is scrappy, and it's all about defence.
Russia very, very good at drawing the foul. You've got players like Alex Pledger, Casey Frank in foul trouble. A couple of other players sitting on too. Will that play a part in the second half?
Yeah, I think so. You're seeing a lot of the referees' calls happening, you know, and then what happens with that is guys start changing the way they play. And again, if guys are going to continue to flop, they have to change the way they play defence. Maybe not quite be quite so aggressive. Likes of Alex Pledger maybe doesn't challenge every shot like he likes to do under the basket. We need him on the court at the end of the game. Yeah.
Though in saying that, someone like Mika Vakona, he's only got one setting and it's full on.
Yeah, that's right, and that can sometimes work against him, but he's not in any foul trouble at the moment, so let's hope he doesn't pick up any quick ones early and he can continue to play that really aggressive brand of basketball that we love watching. All
right, Dylan, let's go to the Russian coach, Evgeny Putin. What's he saying to his team? How do they get the ascendancy when they're trailing by 9 points?
Yeah, I think he's probably going and saying to his guys, take care of the ball, you know, first and foremost. Russian basketball, European basketball in general, are generally very good at ball security, and this team at 10 turnovers is far too many. 10 turnovers in a game is, you know, probably acceptable, but not in a half. So he'll be talking about ball security, continue to get those on-balls working and get those big men going to the hoop, and hopefully can draw more fouls on the All Blacks.
And mentioning that, unlike other European sides, they don't like to use their full 24 seconds, or quite often they won't.
Yeah, they're an opportunist team. They take whatever's given to them, and if they can get a fast break and a quick basket, they will. And then on the flip side of that, if they need to slow it down and they need to be able to, you know, use a bit of clock, they can do that also. They're a very, very polished team, and you know, they are young guys, but as you say, they're professional basketball players and they play at a high level for their club team, so they're used to this pressure situation.
Conversely, Nenad, Pero, Chris Tupu, what are they saying to the All Blacks?
Yeah, I think with them they'll be, you know, talking more about just continue to play good defence, continue to keep pressure on them, make them turn the ball over, and on the other end of the court, just execute their plays. We've got a huge arsenal of plays, and it's all about using them and getting the likes of Kirk Penny open, getting the ball to Mika Vakona on the inside, and all those types of things, and that'll help flow on, and that'll return and high assists and good baskets at the end of it.
Dylan Kasharov, would you be targeting him to try and get him in a bit more foul trouble? He's sitting on 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a player, I would go straight at him. You know, Kirk Penny did a great job going at him one time, and I think if Kirk Penny continues to see him switch onto him, I would attack his legs and, again, do a little bit of that selling himself, make the referees, you know, have to blow their whistle, make everything awkward, and a lot of times you see players jumping through other players' arms or faces, making the referee have to make a call.
All right, well, thank you very much, Dylan Boucher. Yes, at the moment, New Zealand leading Russia 45-36. They've got one hand on that gold medal, one hand on the Stankovic Cup. Will they be able to do it in the second half and have both hands on there and hoist it the first time that they've won it and just their second appearance at the tournament? Find out when we come back. It's the second half.